mean, in the quadratic, ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. A, b, and c are called coefficients. Okay. Of the quadratic equation. Okay. Now, what is the relation between A, B, and C? When a relation between alpha and beta is given. So what we are going to do here is how to determine a relation between A, B, and C when a relation between alpha and beta is given. Okay. So that is what we are going to see. So first problem that you see here is to find the condition that one root of ax square plus bx plus c may be 4 times the other, and the second is the square of the other. Okay, so the first, from question number 1, the given equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Okay, call this 1. Now, first, what is the relation between the roots for the first problem? You see that the relation between the roots is one root is 4 times the other. So we say let one root of let's say 1, let one root of 1 be alpha and the other root be 4 alpha, right? If one root is alpha, the other root has to be 4 alpha because the roots are 4 times of each other. Okay, so 4 times the other. Now you need to find out a relation between a, b, and c. Now if one root is alpha and the other root is 4, what is the sum of the roots? Alpha plus 4 alpha, this is the sum of the roots, must be equal to minus b by a, right? And what is the product of the roots? Alpha into 4 alpha must be equal to c by a. So from here, what do you get? You get 5 alpha is equal to minus b by a, and here you get 4 alpha square is equal to c by a, right? That means now you get alpha is equal to minus b by 5a, and here you get alpha square is equal to c by 4a. So alpha is equal to uh, p by 5a and alpha square is equal to c by 5a. So from above, therefore, what do we have? If you square alpha, you're going to get alpha square, isn't it? And what is alpha? Alpha here is this. So minus b by 5a whole square, you must be able to get alpha square is equal to c by 4a. So therefore, I get b square by 25a square is equal to c by 4a. Okay, so that means from here 1a will go, so you get 4b square is equal to 25ac. That's it. Are we clear with this?
Yes, sir.
The second one is one root is the square of the other. Okay, that means this time what can we take? Let one root be alpha, the other root has to be alpha square. So we say let the two roots of 1 be alpha and alpha square. right? So therefore, what should be the sum of the roots? The equation is ax square plus bx plus c. So sum of the roots is minus b by a. And what is the product of the roots? Alpha into alpha square must be equal to c by a. So therefore, from here, you get alpha plus alpha square is equal to minus b by a. And from here, you get alpha cube is equal to c by a. Now, in order to find the relation between these two, in this case, what we do is we start from here. We start from alpha plus alpha square. Now, because see, I have a square here, how do I find a relation between alpha square and alpha cube? How do I convert alpha square to alpha cube, right? So what we do here is we cube both sides of this. Right? Now we expand this by a plus b whole cube formula. A cube plus b cube plus thrice ab into a plus b. Is equal to minus b cube by a cube. Now this becomes alpha cube plus alpha to the power of 6, 3 alpha cube, and you have alpha plus alpha square. Now what happens? You write this as alpha cube. Alpha to the power of 6 can be written as, in terms alpha cube, can be written as alpha cube square, because I want to write everything in terms of alpha cube, because I want to use this. I want to use this one. Alpha cube is c by a. Alpha cube square is c by a square plus 3c by a. And alpha plus alpha square is minus b by a, is equal to minus b cube by a cube. Okay, you take the LCM on both sides and you simplify. You will get b cube. I'm not simplifying. B cube plus a square c plus ac square is equal to 3abc. Okay, and this is the relation between the coefficients. When one root is the square of the other, this is how the coefficients are related. When one root is 4 times the other, this is how the coefficients are related. Okay. So for the next problem, the given equation is x square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Call this 1. First, here is roots are reciprocal of each other. What do you mean by reciprocal of each other? One root is half, the other is 2. One root is 3, the other is 1/3. Okay, that means one root is 3, the other root is 1 by 3. One root is minus 2, the other root is minus half. One root is minus 1/4, the other root is minus 4, right? This is the way the roots must be if they are reciprocal of each other. That means if the roots are reciprocal of each other, what is the product of the roots? If you take the product of these two, the product must be equal to 1, isn't it? If you take the product
Yes,
of these
sir.
two, the product must be equal to 1. So therefore, we
Yes,
use
sir.
this condition. Okay. But before that, we just write the relation between the roots. Okay. I start by saying let alpha beta be the roots of 1. Okay, so first one. So here we have sum of the roots is equal to minus b by a, and you have product of the roots is equal to c by a. Now if the roots are reciprocal of each other, then the condition is that the product of the roots must be equal to 1. Right? That means C by A must be equal to 1. That means C must be equal to A. So whenever you see an equation where C and A are equal, you must conclude that the equation has reciprocal roots. For example, let's say if you come across this equation, you see that C and A are equal here. That means you must conclude that whatever the roots are, they must be reciprocal of each other. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Next is zero roots. Now, what do you mean by zero roots? One root is zero or both roots are zero. Okay. So for zero roots, we shall consider two cases. One root zero. Case one is 10 root. We start one from here. So that the sum of the roots and the product of the root remain the same. So 10 root. Now, if the equation has 10 roots, then what can you say about the product of the roots, sum of the roots and the product of the roots? I cannot say anything about the sum of the roots, right? But what can I say about the product of the roots?
Product will be 0.
Zero, always. I cannot say anything about the sum, but definitely I can say that the product of the roots must be equal to 0.
Yes.
Right? So product of the roots is 0 means product of the roots C by A, which is equal to 0. That means C is equal to 0. Okay, so just to give you an example, if you see an equation like this, 2x square plus 5x, where C is equal to 0, you see that definitely you will get 1 root 0. See, x into 2x plus 5 equal to 0. You get x is equal to 0 or x is equal to minus 5 by 2. So you are getting 1 0 root, right? So this is the condition.
Yes.
Okay. So second one, case 2, when both roots are 0. Both roots 0, both 0 roots. In this case, what can I say about the sum and the product? I can say the sum has to be 0 as well as the product has to be 0, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sum of the roots is equal to 0 and product of the roots is equal to 0. What is the sum of the roots? Minus b by a. And what is the product of the roots? C by a. That means from here you get b is equal to 0 and you get c is equal to 0. So what is the condition here? B equal to c equal to 0. So this is the condition. So for example again, for a quadratic like this, 5x square is equal to 0, where b and c are both 0. You'll get both 0 roots, isn't it? X is equal to 0 0. So
Yes, sir.
that is what your this thing, the first second was 0 roots. Next is infinite roots. Okay, now you know that alpha and beta are the roots of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Let us find the equation whose roots are 1 by alpha, 1 by beta. So how do I find the equation? The equation whose roots are 1 by alpha and 1 by beta is x square minus sum of the roots x plus product of the roots, isn't it? Right? So here, above what do we have? X square minus sum of the roots is alpha plus, you take the LCM here, Sum of the roots here is minus b by a. Product is c by a x plus so now they say cancels. What do you get? X square plus c by b x plus a by c equal to 0. So what you see here is that if you take the LCM, you'll get cx square plus bx plus a is equal to 0, right? Cx square plus bx plus a is equal to 0. Okay. This should be b by c, not c by b. Okay. This is what you're going to get. Now, if the roots, see the alpha beta are the roots of this equation. 1 by alpha, 1 by beta are the roots of this equation. So we must have for we are since we are looking for condition for infinite roots, we must have two conditions. Case one, that is when one root is infinite, one infinite root, right? In this case, if one root, let's say alpha, is infinite, then the root 1 by alpha of cx square plus bx plus a must be equal to 0, isn't it? Yes. Tell me if you cannot understand. No problem. If one root, say alpha, is infinite, then that means 1 by alpha has to be 0 because 1 by infinity is 0, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we will use this result. That is, if one root is alpha, then 1 by alpha must be equal to 0. So what was the condition for the 0 root? 0 root here. The condition for 0 root was that the constant term c must be equal to 0. And in this case, what is the constant term here? A. So from case 1 of 2, a must be equal to 0, right? Case 2.
Yes, sir.
Both infinite roots or both roots infinite. So if both roots of both roots of ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 are infinite, then both roots of this equation that we have found out, cx square plus bx plus a is equal to 0. What can you say? Both root must be 0. Isn't it? So from case 1, from case 2 of 2, what can you say? Which ones should be 0? B must be equal to 0 and A must be equal to 0, isn't it? So B equal to A equal to 0. Okay. If there are no questions, we can proceed to the next one. Equal in magnitude but opposite in sign. What do you mean by this? When roots are equal in magnitude but opposite in sign, that means one root is plus 2, the other root must be minus 2. If one root is minus 1/3, the other root has to be plus 1/3. That means they are equal in magnitude, but they are opposite in sign. See, they are opposite in sign, right? They are equal in magnitude. The magnitude is the same. 1/3, 1/3. 2 and 2, right? So this is what it means, that if the roots are equal in magnitude but opposite in sign. If the roots are equal in magnitude and opposite in sign, then what can you say about the sum of the roots? What can you say? Yes, tell me. Anyone? If one root is +2, the other root is -2, you add them, what are you going to get?
Sir, 0.
0.
Sir, 0.
If the roots of the equation are equal in magnitude but opposite in sign, that means the sum of the roots has to be 0. Right? So we are going to use this condition. And what is the sum of the roots we know? Sum of the roots is minus b by a equal to 0. And therefore you get b is equal to 0. And fifth condition was that the roots are in the ratio p is to q. Now, before I proceed, let me give you this note here. Remember, I solved this problem here. This one, roots are 4 times the other. Now, either this statement can be given to you as, the roots are 4 times the other, or they can simply give you the roots are in the ratio 1:4. It's the same thing. Or they can also give you roots are in the ratio 4:1. Whether you say roots are 4 times the other, or you say roots are in the ratio 1:4 or 4:1, it's the same thing. Or if I say the roots are 5 times of each other, 5 times the other, that means whether I give you 1:5 or 5:1, it's the same thing. If I give you the ratio of the roots as 5:1, you must know that the roots must be 5 times the other. Okay. So please make a note of this, okay, while writing. I forgot to
Okay.
write this. So here you have roots are in the ratio p is to q. So I start by saying if the roots are in the ratio p is to q, let one root be p alpha, or let's say k alpha, and the other root, no, not k alpha, it has to be p alpha because they are in the ratio p is to q. So p alpha and the other root be q alpha, isn't it? That is how you take. If 2 is to 3, what do? You take 2k and 3k, isn't it? That is what I have done here. Okay. So roots are, one root you can take as p alpha, the other root you can take as q alpha. Therefore, what is the sum of the roots? Sum of the roots here is minus b by a, and the product of the roots. Let me write the sum directly. Sum of the roots here is p alpha plus q alpha, right? And what is the product of the roots? P alpha into q alpha is equal to c by a, right? Now, what do we get? If you take alpha common from here, you get p plus q is equal to minus b by a. And if you take um, from here, you get pq alpha square is equal to c by a. So from here, you get alpha is equal to minus b by a times p plus q. And from here, you get alpha square is equal to c by a p q. So what do you have? If you square alpha, you must get alpha square. So what is alpha here? Alpha here is this. We'll write minus b by a times p plus q is equal to c by apq. That means you get b square divided by a square p plus q square is equal to c by apq. That means this a and this a will cancel here. So you ultimately get the condition. If you cross multiply, you will get b square pq is equal to ac times p plus q whole square. Okay, so that's what your condition here is. Now here the answer in the answer here, I have not given a square. Please give a square here. Okay, so it should be p plus q whole square. This square I forgot to mention in the answer. Okay. So
Okay.
that is what the condition is. Now we come to the next part, which is common roots. Let me erase this, start from. Now, how should the coefficients of a quadratic equation be related such that they have a common root between them? Now, what do you mean by a common root? Now, common root means one root. There are, so if I give you two quadratic equations, the first quadratic equation will have root as say alpha beta, right? The other quadratic equation, if it has roots in the form say alpha gamma, then alpha is called the common root of the two quadratic equation. Okay, that is they have one root which is common to both of them. So let's see here. Yes, yes, this one, number 3. Let me first define common roots. Common roots given two quadratic equations, a1x square plus b1x plus c1 is equal to 0, whose roots are alpha beta, say, and another another equation, a2x square plus b2x plus c2 is equal to 0, whose roots are say alpha gamma, right? If you see the roots of the first equation, this one is alpha, and the roots of the second equation here is also alpha, then alpha is called a common root of the two equations. Okay. So now what we are going to do here is we are going to derive a condition. How are the coefficients of these two equations related? How are a1, b1, c1, a2, b2, c2 related such that if they have a common root? So if it is given to you that these two equations have a common root, I don't know what root it is, but but if we know that they have a common root, then how should the coefficient be related? Okay, this is what we are going to, the condition that we are going to derive. Okay, now we are just going to, I'm just going to stop because I if I start this I won't be able to finish this. So what I'll do here is I will just make you recall the method of cross multiplication if from your class 9. Okay, just recall this, we are going to use this. Suppose if I give you two equations, a1x plus b1y plus c1 equal to 0, and if I give you a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0. Okay, so if now in class 9, if you remember, when we are using method of cross multiplication, we are aligning the coefficients in this manner. And what are we doing? We were writing x in between here and we are writing y in between, right? So that when we are taking x here, you are multiplying these two, right? So a1 b2 minus a2 b1, right? When we were writing y here,
Yes.
we are writing a y with a negative sign, if you remember. And again, these two we are multiplying. b1 c2 minus b2 c1, right? And finally, we are writing 1 by, let me write 1 here also. When you are writing 1 by, sorry, this is not, What I have written is wrong. I think you have forgotten your cross multiplication method. You did not correct me also. Anyway, when we are writing x, okay, you see the coefficients of x are these, right? So we hide these. We don't look at these. We multiply these two. B1 C2 minus B2 C1, right? Here we have a y. So when we are writing y, what are the coefficients of y? This. So we hide this now. So now we are going to multiply these two. And remember, we write y with a negative sign. So we have A1 C2 minus A2 C1, right? For 1, we have this. So we hide this one. So we multiply these two. A1 B2 minus A2 B1. Remember this? Yes? From your class 9, do you remember I taught you this?
Yes, sir. Only
Okay.
the arrows I remember, sir.
Yes. So just go through this method once again. We are going to use this method of cross multiplication in our next class. Okay. So I'll stop here.